While your mind is one of the most important tools in your skill set, it can be one of the most devastating factors because your mind stops you from doing action. It stops you from taking that next step because it keeps you in loops of overthinking. It keeps you in loops of attachment. You see, we use our mind too much. And it's not even the problem of us using our mind too much. We use it too much in the wrong directions. If our attention is seen through energy, let's say it's seen through a light bulb disperses light, it emits light throughout the entire room. That's how our attention is. Our attention is taken by here and there, and it's just everywhere. We want our attention to be like a laser. We don't want our attention to be like a light bulb. We want it to be laser focused because when it's laser focused, then it gives us that extra oomph to actually take action. See, our minds are important, but what's really important is taking action in whatever step it is that you do, in whatever goal it is that you pursue. If you want to build your body, if you want to build your bank account, if you want to build a mindset that allows you to take action, you need to first take action. I know it sounds contradictory, but that's just the name of the game. And for you to take action, you need to get rid of all existing beliefs that you have. You need to take yourself out of your comfort zone. You need to take yourself out of yourself because all our life, all our lives, we've just been conditioned to stay in the comfort zone. We've been conditioned by parents, by teachers, by our society because we don't have our own drive. And when we don't have our own drive, we seek it in the external world, which is why the external world is filled with garbage. It's filled with nonsense, absolute nonsense from everywhere. And that's why so many of us are just so low all the time. That's why whenever we make progress, the ego, the idea of ourselves, always regresses us. It always takes us back. If life, let's look at life through the lens of the other chair. I don't, unfortunately. But let's think about this as a rubber band. If we are here and this is us pulling the rubber band going forward, we're making forward progress and momentum. What our ego does is it snaps us back. And when it snaps us back, the momentum goes backwards. So we go even further back from when we actually started. But the thing is to keep on trying, is to keep on taking action and to keep on going forward in this rubber band. See, when we go forward, we'll snap back. Our ego will keep on snapping us back until we get to a point of no return. And our higher self essentially takes over. And then when we snap forward, we get the forward momentum instead of the backwards momentum. That's why people can work for years and years on end and then have one breakthrough and then people think it's an overnight success. But what they really just did is they just put repetition after repetition after repetition. All these high achievers and these people who we see as above ourselves because they're in a position that we want to be in. So we see them as above us, but they just did things that we aren't willing to do now. And that's a problem of the mind. But to fix that, we first need to take action. We need to not listen to our mind. Because our mind is our greatest tool. It genuinely is our greatest tool. But we need to earn the right to use that tool properly. We need to find ways to use this tool properly. And that first starts by ignoring it. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but we first need to start ignoring our mind. Everything that we overthink about, all the negative thought loops that we go in, we keep ourselves in boxes. Our ego keeps us trapped in a box that doesn't allow us to make forward progression. And anytime we do make forward progression, because we all make forward progression, at least in something, because you can't stay still forever. But when we make that change, our ego doesn't want us to continue in that pursuit because it wants to keep its identity. You'd want to keep your identity. If you believe that you are someone, this idea of the ego, and then someone challenges that, you'll be angry at the person, but you're not really angry at that person. You're just angry at the fact that he's challenging who you think you are. Because when he challenges you, you lose a sense of control. Your ego loses a sense of control. Because now it's being questioned. Now it's really us. It's knocking at the door and it's like, is this really you? Because at the essence of everything, we are all just consciousness. And the ego is important. We just shouldn't have attachment to the ego. We shouldn't have emotional attachments to the things that we achieve and to the things that bring us down. You can't be attached to either, because if you're attached to the things that you've achieved, then anything less than those achievements will just be a negative reflection on yourself. You'll think you're a bad person, or you think you're not worthy because you haven't reached the standard that you've pedestalized yourself at. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't have high standards. You just shouldn't keep emotional attachments to things that you have achieved. And same thing for your failures. If you fail, that doesn't define your character. It doesn't define who you are. Because at the essence of everything, we are all just consciousness. The ego is a false sense of identity that wants to have control. It gives us a sense of control. And when we fail, a small part of it kind of likes it. A small part of us kind of likes the fact that we fail, because then we don't have a reason to go forward again. Because when we do go forward, then we have the risk of failing again. And then it's just a cycle within our own minds. I hope you guys are understanding this. The point is to just ignore your mind for now, because it just fools you with a whole lot of nonsense. And until you can learn to work with it, but for you to learn to work with your mind, you need to build repetitions with yourself. You need to focus on your body. You need to be a bit of a monkey. You need to be a bit of a retard and not think for a bit and just do. Just have autonomy. Don't listen to other people. Don't listen to yourself as well. Just follow your intuition. And a lot of us think the inner voice in our head is our intuition, but sometimes it's not. We'll know when we are doing something that's right, but a lot of the times the voice in our head is telling us to do things that are detrimental towards us or for us. And it's all for the sake of the ego wanting to maintain the sense of control, because we don't like it when we don't have control anymore. So anything it is that you want to do it. Just do it. Don't think. Don't be an idiot. You be a retard, not an idiot. Don't do things that will harm people and harm yourself, obviously. But if you have an impulse to suddenly go on a walk, don't think about it. Don't think, oh, if I go on a walk, well, where will I go to? How long will I walk? Should I get a water bottle with me? Don't think about that stuff. Because your mind brings in small things that you think matter. You think bringing a water bottle will matter. You think, how long should I walk? Where will I walk? You think all these things matter. But what all these things are is just things from blocking you from following your intuition. Because when you do follow your intuition, you slowly start building an attraction to your higher self. Because now you're listening to your higher self. You're not thinking. You're not living by means of the earth anymore. You're living by means of something that's higher than yourself. And it literally is your higher self. So just start following that higher self. You'll know what it is. And you'll know in the voice, you'll know between the devil on your shoulder and between the angel on your shoulder. And sometimes you need to listen to the devil sometimes you need to go back, you need to snap back and regress. You need to take one step forward and 2 steps back in order to take another 5 steps forward. Don't conform to anyone, but just follow yourself. Because you know we were all born here for a reason. And inside, you're the only person who holds that reasoning. You can't seek externally. You can seek externally to help find your reason. But at the end of the day, you're the one who connects the dots. You provide the own nuances in your life. So start following yourself and stop thinking. Take action. That's all that's needed.